Good morning. Welcome back to our hotel room. It was a busy day yesterday. Many games, a magic show, lots of good stuff. So, today we are looking at Jeremiah chapter 48. It is a long one, and it's not at first going to seem very sensible to you, but I need to read this first, and then we'll see what you think. All right? Yesterday was about the Philistines, and as I mentioned, this is sort of a cleanup section at the end of Jeremiah where Baruch is assembling various things that God told to Jeremiah over a period of time. Not Jeremiah. Yes, Jeremiah. It's early for me. Thankfully, I have my radio voice. So, told to Jeremiah over a period of time regarding the nations around Israel. So, chapter 48, concerning Moab. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Woe to Nebo, for it is laid waste. Kiriathaim is put to shame, it is taken. The fortress is put to shame and broken down. The renown of Moab is no more. In Heshbon they plan disaster against her. Come, let us cut her off from being a nation. You also, O madmen, shall be brought to silence. The sword shall pursue you. A voice, a cry from Horonaim, desolation and great destruction. Moab is destroyed. Her little ones have made a cry. For at the ascent of Luhith they go up weeping. For at the descent of Horonaim they have heard the distressed cry of destruction. Flee, save yourselves. You will be like a juniper in the desert, for because you trusted in your works and your treasures, you also shall be taken. And Chemosh shall go into exile with his priests and his officials. The destroyer shall come upon every city, and no city shall escape. The valley shall perish, and the plain shall be destroyed, as the Lord has spoken. Give wings to Moab, for she would fly away. Her cities shall become a desolation with no inhabitant in them. Cursed is he who does the work of the Lord with slackness, and cursed is he who keeps back his sword from bloodshed. Moab has been at ease from his youth, and has settled on his dregs. He has not been emptied from vessel to vessel, nor has he gone into exile. So his taste remains in him, and his scent is not changed. Therefore, behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I shall send to him pourers who will pour him, and empty his vessels, and break his jars in pieces. And then Moab shall be ashamed of Chemosh, as the house of Israel was ashamed of Bethel, their confidence. How do you say, we are heroes and mighty men of war? The destroyer of Moab and his cities has come up, and the choicest of his young men have gone down to slaughter, declares the king, whose name is the Lord of hosts. The calamity of Moab is near at hand, and his affliction hastens swiftly. Grieve for him, all you who are around him, and all who know his name. Say, how the mighty scepter is broken, the glorious staff. Come down from your glory, and sit on the parched ground, O inhabitant of Dibon. For the destroyer of Moab has come up against you. He has destroyed your strongholds. Stand by the way and watch, O inhabitant of Aroer. Ask him who flees and her who escapes. Say, what has happened? Moab is put to shame, for it is broken, wail and cry. Tell it beside the Arnon that Moab is laid to waste. Judgment has come upon the tableland, upon Holon, and Jazah, and Mephaath, and Dibon, and Nebo, and Beit Diblathaim, and Kiriathaim, and Beit Gamul, and Beit Maon, and Kirioth, and Bozrah, and all the cities of the land of Moab, far and near. The horn of Moab is cut off, and his arm is broken, declares the Lord. Make him drunk, because he magnified himself against the Lord, so that Moab shall wallow in his vomit, and he too shall be held in derision. Was not Israel a derision to you? Was he found among thieves, that whenever you spoke of him you wagged your head? Leave the cities and dwell in the rock, O inhabitants of Moab. Turn the page. There's a lot of this. There's quite a bit more. Be like the dove that nests in the sides of the mouth of a gorge. We have heard the pride of Moab. He is very proud. Of his loftiness, his pride, and his arrogance, and the haughtiness of his heart. I know his insolence, declares the Lord. His boasts are false. His deeds are false. Therefore I wail for Moab. I cry out for all Moab, for the men of Kir Hareset. I mourn. More than for Jezer, I weep for you, O vine of Sibmah. Your branches passed over the sea, reached to the sea of Jezer. On your summer fruits and your grapes the destroyer has fallen. Gladness and joy have been taken away from the fruitful land of Moab. I have made the wine cease from the winepresses. No one treads them with shouts of joy. The shouting is not the shout of joy. From the outcry at Heshbon, even to Elealeh, as far as Jahaz, they utter their voice. From Zoar to Horonaim and Eglath Shelishiyah, for the waters of Nimrim also have become desolate. And I will bring to an end in Moab, declares the Lord, him who offers sacrifice in the high place and makes offerings to his God. Therefore my heart moans for Moab like a flute, and my heart moans like a flute for the men of Kir Hareset. Therefore the riches they gained have perished. For every head is shaved, and every beard cut off. On all the hands are gashes, and around the waist is sackcloth. On all the housetops of Moab and in the squares there is nothing but lamentation. For I have broken Moab like a vessel for which no one cares, declares the Lord. How it has broken, how they wail, how Moab has turned his back in shame. So Moab has become a derision and a horror to all that are around him. And it closes with another section of poetry. For thus says the Lord, behold, one shall fly swiftly like an eagle, and spread his wings against Moab. The cities shall be taken, and the strongholds seized. The heart of the warriors of Moab shall be in that day like the heart of a woman in her birth pains. Moab shall be destroyed and be no longer a people, because he magnified himself against the Lord. Terror, pit, and snare are before you, O inhabitant of Moab, declares the Lord. He who flees from the terror shall fall into the pit, and he who climbs out of the pit shall be caught in the snare. For I will bring these things upon Moab, the year of their punishment, declares the Lord. In the shadow of Heshbon, fugitives stop without strength, for fire came out from Heshbon, flame from the house of Sion. It has destroyed the forehead of Moab, the crown of the sons of tumult. Woe to you, O Moab! The people of Chemosh are undone, for your sons have been taken captive and your daughters into captivity. Yet I will restore the fortunes of Moab in the latter days, declares the Lord. Thus far is the judgment on Moab. I told you it was a long one. And bewildering. So much, there's symbolism. That's one of the things that makes it a little opaque. But the other thing, I think, is that it depends so much on geography. And places that have significance to the reader, the first readers, and to Jeremiah, but not to us. So if we were talking about Michigan, and we said things about Grand Rapids and Port Huron, you'd have a sense, from the west to the east, from Lake Michigan to Lake Huron, or from Traverse City to Detroit, and you'd get a sense of the extent that we're talking about, and it would be a picture of of the state or something for you. If we were, maybe a better way to illustrate this, if a prophet had said in the late 1980s a prophecy about the Soviet Union, and he talked about all its client states around it being broken off and taken away from it, and we would recognize those names. Or if it talked about principal cities in the Soviet Union, from Siberia to Moscow to St. Peter, to Leningrad and Stalingrad, and all those places that had significance to us, because they were the focus of the victories of our enemy, right, and the things that threatened us. Maybe it's even hard for you to remember what that was like when the Soviet Union was this dread, threatening thing on the horizon, the missiles, the whatever else. And hearing about their coming end and how that union would come apart and their strength would become weakness and so on. This is how the readers that Jeremiah was talking to how they understood what he was saying. All these things were familiar names and places. And they were all representative of the power of Moab, of the reminders of the many attacks that Moab had made against Israel again and again over the last centuries. Traditional, long-time enemies. And yet, did you catch this? Came in little bits in the middle of all this condemnation. Therefore I wail for Moab. I cry out for all Moab. For the men of Kir Hareset I mourn. Or verse 36, therefore my heart mourns for Moab like a flute. My heart moans like a flute for the men of Kir Hareset. These are people who have been enemies of God's people through their entire history. This is a nation that has been, as he repeatedly says here, worshiping the god, the detestable Chemosh.